Hey guys, welcome on into the Josh REESE Show. I am your host, Josh REESE, and this video is going to be detailing the NBA offseason and what you could expect as a Houston Rockets fan. Who should the Houston Rockets be targeting, and ultimately who will they end up when it's all said and done after free agency? So, before we get into it, please follow my friends over at Countryside Massage here in Conroe, Texas. Follow them on Facebook. They are linked in the description below. Just click the link and give them a like. I would appreciate it, and so would they. But let's get on into what you came for. You want to know the names. You want to know who the Rockets will end up with when it's all said and done. And more than likely, unfortunately, you're going to be upset. Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, those names likely not going to happen. They're fun to flirt with, fun to hear. Chris Paul could be a Houston Rocket. Oh my God, that would be amazing. Blake Griffin, can you imagine the lobs between James Harden and Blake Griffin? Mind-blowing. Unfortunately, not going to happen. But I don't want to rain on your parade totally. There are still plenty of good names to get into, but this video is just going to be breaking down the names in free agency, free agents, restricted free agents, those type of things. I'm not really going to get into trades. I'll do another video detailing some of the trades. There's a lot of different ones out there. Of course, Paul George is the most notable, but also Ricky Rubio. Trades and buyouts, I could say, since Carmelo Anthony could be bought out by the Knicks. Then you still have Porzingis, who is always still out there. Who knows? Okafor, maybe. Lots of different trades that could be out there for the Houston Rockets. But today we're just going to be talking about the free agents. So I broke them down into a couple different categories. I got home runs for the Houston Rockets. I have people they're actually probably going to more likely end up with. Also, one guy who would be an amazing fit, I personally think, but just no chance. And then a bunch of guys that I'm not really sure how exactly they would fit, but I would love for the Houston Rockets to take a roll in the dice and try to land these guys. So before we get into this, I'm going to go ahead and let you know, I think the Rockets are going to land a max deal guy. I already mentioned it's not going to be Chris Paul, but who knows? Maybe Chris Paul. I don't think so anyways, but they are going to find a way to spend max money. And what that means is the Rockets are going to have to find a way to ship out some contracts. They're going to have to find a way to get rid of Ryan Anderson potentially. They're going to have to find a way to get rid of Trevor Ariza potentially. They're going to have to find a way to get rid of Patrick Beverley potentially, Lou Williams, Eric Gordon, likely going to stay around. They certainly could use his scoring ability. But they're going to have to find a way to clear cap space. Probably the best contract that the Rockets have to move, the one with the most value, would be either Patrick Beverley, because he's on a very cheap and very good contract, 2 more years, team options after this season, only $5 million per, but he's under contract for 2 more seasons, $5 million per. Not bad for a guy who is first team all defense. But also Trevor Ariza, only making $7 million this season, and then that's it, an expiring contract right after that. So those are 2 of the Rockets' most valuable contracts. Lou Williams, another valuable contract, potential six-man of the year, only making $7 million. But Ryan Anderson, that one is going to be a very difficult contract to move. But if you do move it, you're going to free up a lot of space. He's making about $18 million per for at least, was it another 3 seasons, another 4 seasons? I think it's another 3 seasons. So if you find a way to move him off the books, that is going to be, that's going to help you out a lot for the cap. So anyways, let's get on into it. And these are the free agents that I have listed in the home run category. I have, of course, Chris Paul, Serge Ibaka, JJ Redick, and either Andre Roberson or Jonathan Simmons, both restricted free agents. Chris Paul, of course, we've talked about that. I broke it down in a couple other videos. But when you think about Chris Paul and you think about the Rockets eventually thinking about handing the reins over to Chris Paul to bring him in and letting James Harden go off ball. One of the things that I didn't understand was why Kyle Lowry was getting attached to the Houston Rockets. I can understand bringing James Harden off ball for Chris Paul, who is one of the greatest point guards of all time, but I don't understand why you would do that for Kyle Lowry. He's been great. He's found himself a great home up north with the Raptors, but certainly not the same level as Chris Paul. So that one I never really understood very well. One of the names you don't see mentioned in this home run category is Blake Griffin, and I've also detailed that in another video before. I'm just not really a big believer in him. But Serge Ibaka, I think Serge Ibaka is someone that the Rockets should be heavily interested in, and you always hear some rumors whenever he's on the trade market. A couple seasons ago with the Magic, you kind of thought this year that the Rockets were going to be interested on him, but instead they traded him over to the Raptors. So that could be someone that or Rockets could be interested in Serge Ibaka. I know if I was Daryl Morey, I would be sending my entourage up to wherever Serge Ibaka is, and I would be trying to court him as hard as I could. JJ Redick, another guy I think the Rockets should be heavily interested in, but unfortunately he is more than likely going to be looking for a ton of money, and he's probably, I would not give him a max contract. I don't think anybody will, but he's going to get a very big contract, and it looks like the Nets and the 76ers are teams that are trying to acquire his services. So unfortunately I don't think JJ Redick is going to be in the Rockets' plans, but as a shooter, as someone who can play opposite James Harden and stay on the wing or stay in the three-point line, shoot threes all game long, that's what you want to see. And he's not that horrible a defender either. JJ Redick is not that bad. And when he's got it going, nothing but good sales. Another one of the home runs that I mentioned, Andre Roberson, Jonathan Simmons, those are two guys that I'm very, very high on. And we all have recently seen both these players up close in front as the Rockets played the Thunder in the playoffs and the San Antonio Spurs, and both those players had tremendous games against the Houston Rockets. Jonathan Simmons was pretty much the only reason the Rockets were not able to defeat the Spurs. Yes, they had Kawhi Leonard, but Jonathan Simmons played one hell of a few games against the Houston Rockets, and he is probably going to get a very decent raise this year. Andre Roberson, we all know about him, lockdown defender. Can't shoot free throws though, so who knows? Can't really shoot very well at all. So I am wondering what the contract value for Roberson would be, and I'm sure the Thunder would match whatever team would offer him something, but I would trade left and right nut to try to land one of these two guys and get them on the Houston Rockets. I think they're not building blocks, but they are part of a championship basketball team, and I'd love to find a way for the Rockets to get one of those guys. So here's another group of players under the guys the Rockets actually probably have a shot at landing. I have Paul Millsap, I have Dion Waiters, I have PJ Tucker, Kyle Korver, and Dewayne Dedmon. And I will talk a little bit about these guys real quick. Paul Millsap, everyone thinks about Blake Griffin. So when you don't think you're going to get Blake Griffin, you automatically turn to Paul Millsap. And I think that is probably like, in my personal opinion, the Rockets' C plan. Still a great option, but, you know, I'd rather have Serge Ibaka, younger, more athletic. But Millsap can shoot. Not that great of a three-point shooter, but he can score, and he's a decent defender. I would not mind him if I would not mind it if the Houston Rockets signed him. I wouldn't mind it because he is 32 years old, and you're going to have him for a while. And eventually he's going to start declining, and you're probably going to be on the wrong side of that contract however long he signs. Dion Waiters, very interested in him. If the Rockets end up moving Lou Williams or trade Eric Gordon for whatever reason, Dion Waiters is someone that the Rockets should get. He shined in his opportunity with Miami Heat. He is a volume scorer. He can score. So if the Rockets do move one of those two players, Dion Waiters should be someone that they should be calling. We all remember that weird mishap he had when he was traded to Oklahoma City Thunder, and he tried to wear James Harden's jersey number, but the Thunder said, "We're not going to retire it, but you're not going to wear it either, Dion Waiters." So that was an interesting tidbit. PJ Tucker, someone I've been very high on for a very long time. He's like a bigger Patrick Beverley. I enjoy watching PJ Tucker play. And if the Rockets end up having to move Trevor Ariza, that is someone I would be very, 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 very interested in the Rockets going to grab. The problem is he's 32 years old, so you would not want him on a long-term deal. So be interested to see. Kyle Korver, like J.J. Redick, in this Rockets offense, you want shooters. Kyle Korver, last year, shot 49% from three, and he's 36 years old. Enough said. Enough said. You definitely don't want to give Kyle Korver a long contract, but he's probably at this point in his career where he's going to try to sign with a team to win a ring. So unfortunately, that might not be the Houston Rockets, but I would love for him to roll the dice on Houston and try to hit a shit ton of threes in Mike D'Antoni's offense. And then finally in this list is Dewayne Dedmon. A little bit older than you would think. He's 27 years old, and he played really well for the San Antonio Spurs whenever he was given a chance. But I don't know if he was in Greg Popovich's doghouse or something, but and especially you saw this in the playoffs. I never really understood why they were starting David Lee ahead of Dewayne Dedmon, especially when the Rockets are destroying teams on pick and rolls. You would think that would be your better defender. He had a 99 defensive rating out of 100 possessions. That's pretty fucking good. Dewayne Dedmon did not get a lot of run with the Spurs, so I would be very, very interested if the Rockets give him a call. Of course, not to start over Clint Capella, but maybe if you don't trust Montrezl Harrell, maybe this is the guy that you're going to use to try to fill those minutes. Now, this is the guy that has no shot on ever joining the Houston Rockets, but I would love for it to work if it did. If he for some reason woke up one day and said, "I need to pair myself with James Harden," and that is Gordon Hayward. Oh my God. Could you imagine Gordon Hayward in this offense? I think it would be phenomenal. You could have James Harden setting him up. Gordon Hayward is a scorer. He can play defense. He is great. He's a young superstar, and I would love to see that pairing in Houston. Unfortunately, that has negative 0% chance of happening. He's more likely either going to go to Boston or he's going to stay with the Jazz. And I doubt he's going to be taking any other calls from anyone else. But I would love to see that happen. So the rest of the guys I have on here, I have Patty Mills, Vince Carter, Zach Randolph, Willie Reed, and JaVale McGee. And very high on Patty Mills. Love Patty Mills' game. And if the Rockets end up moving Patrick Beverley to try to acquire assets to trade for somebody, Patty Mills should definitely be on the next phone call for Daryl Morey to try to hook up with him. I think that would be great for the Rockets. Can shoot threes, very good defender. No Patrick Beverley, but solid defender nonetheless. Also, Vince Carter, I would love to see the Rockets take a gamble on him. Very, very solid veteran, someone that James Harden can learn from, 40 years old, but he can still ball. How the hell can you still play basketball at 40 years old? Amazing, but he still can. He's still got ups. He was destroying the Rockets a couple times last year when the Grizzlies played here. I don't know how he does it. He just does it. I'd love for the Rockets to sign him to like a one-year deal, veterans minimum or something like that. That'd be fantastic. Like a Nene deal, you know? Have him score 16 points a game for the Rockets and then go out next year and get a big contract. But I would love this as a nice, good veteran for the Houston Rockets. Like they had Jason Terry paired with the Rockets a couple times. Now you can get Vince Carter. I would love that. I'd love to find a way for that to happen. Zach Randolph is someone I loved for a very, very, very long time basketball. Some of my favorite basketball teams was a Zach Randolph team. I loved Zach Randolph and Marc Gasol. Still love it to this day. Zach Randolph, not exactly the same player that he once was, but still can score the basketball. Still is a grizzly, mean guy. And I would love to have some of that grind here in Houston. I don't think there's enough grind on the Rockets, and I think that's something that the Rockets are lacking, something that they're looking to need, something that they would love to have. Unfortunately, I feel like he's a Memphis guy. I don't feel like he's going to leave the Grizzlies, but I would love for them to find a way for that to work. Another guy that's a free agent is Tony Allen. I don't know if that's someone I'd be interested in because he's on the tail end of his career right now, but I mean, if you're looking for grind like I love, Tony Allen, why not? Also, Willie Reed played last season with the Miami Heat. Also, older than you expect. Has only played 2 years in the league, but he's 27 years old. And he seemed to do very well when the Miami Heat had him out there. But for whatever reason, the Miami Heat did not, did they decline his player option, team option on him or something? I can't remember. But for whatever reason, it didn't work out with the Heat. And I don't know if, it's 100% speculation. I don't know if maybe he's a bad character guy or something like that, but I'd like to think that the Miami Heat enjoy guys that can grit and grind. And I kind of felt like Willie Reed was like another Hassan Whiteside. Like they found him out of nowhere, and now he's starting for the Miami Heat. I felt like Willie Reed was that same guy. But he's out there, and he probably will cost pretty cheap. In limited minutes, he put up like 5 and 5. And I think like per 100 possessions, he was damn near like 17 points a game, like 20 rebounds or something like that. Something very insane. So I'd love to see the Rockets find a way to make that happen. And then lastly, JaVale McGee, athleticism. And that's the first thing that comes to my mind when I think of JaVale McGee is athleticism. Someone that can roll on James Harden pick and rolls and someone that can score the ball, give you some defense at the rim and rebound. That's pretty much all you need from a third center, and I think that would do well for the Houston Rockets. So when it's all said and done, who do I think the Houston Rockets are going to end up with? I think the Rockets are probably going to end up with Paul Millsap. They're probably going to end up with Willie Reed and probably Kyle Korver. Yeah, that's what I think. They're probably going to be a mix in there. Maybe like I mentioned, if they trade someone else, they try to bring Dion Waiters in. But Dion Waiters might try to command a little bit more than he's worth. He had one good season. He might try to turn that into a bunch of money. But I think Kyle Korver can be a fit here in this offense. And as I mentioned, he might be looking for a team like the Warriors, the Spurs, the Cleveland Cavaliers to win a ring with. But if Korver brings his shooting to the Rockets offense, that in itself helps make the Rockets closer to getting that ring. He's not the guy that's going to put him over. Maybe Paul Millsap will. I'm not sure. But when it's all said and done, when the dust settles, I think it's going to be Paul Millsap in Houston. I also think they're going to pair him with Kyle Korver. And I think Willie Reed might be your third center, someone that the Rockets will take a chance on, like they did with Nene. I'm not sure how that situation's going. I'm sure if Nene is healthy, the Rockets might try to re-sign him. But I think that's who the Rockets are going to end up with. So guys, that's pretty much all I got on this video. Please let me know what you think. I'd appreciate it. So if you like this video, I got 6 things for you. Feel free to like this video. Feel free to share. Share this video. Share this content with others. This is your free agency primer. So I'm sure some other people want to know about what's going on, what the Rockets could be going through in free agency. So this is what will get them through. Also, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hit the notifications tab so you can get notified whenever I release a new video. Like I mentioned, I'm going to do another one for the Rockets' potential trade assets that they could be going through. And one of the reasons I did not mention that the Rockets, I know when you're thinking about this, you're thinking, Paul Millsap, Kyle Korver, and Willie Reed, that's it? That's because I think the Rockets have a trade up their sleeve. What could that be? So you have to listen to that video to find out. I'll post that in a day or two. But anyways, where was I? Oh yeah. Also, feel free to comment. Let me know what you think. Who do you think the Rockets will sign in free agency? Let me know what you think the Rockets will do during free agency, who they're going to sign. I'd love to hear your opinion. Also, if this is your first time seeing this video and you've never seen my face before, please follow me on Twitter at Mr. Joshua. And lastly, please follow my friends over at Countryside Massage here in Conroe, Texas. They are linked in the description below. Just click the link, give them a like. That's all. Guys, I'm going to bounce it out of here. I will catch you later. Thank you for watching this Rockets free agency primer. I'm out.